I hope your Sunday morning is off to a flying start because there is a loaded show for you here this morning. We head down to Johnstown to check out some fine art. A local fitness expert is climbing one of the 7 peaks. And a great event involving some wine is taking place the entire month of March right here in central Pennsylvania. Don't go anywhere. The center of it all starts right now. Thanks for joining us here this morning on the center of it all. To kick things off, we're in Boalsburg at Mount Nittany Winery, and I'm joined by Vineyard Manager Steve Weaver. Steve, I want to thank you very much for joining us. A lot of great things going on in central Pennsylvania regarding the wine industry, and the month of March, especially some great things going on as well.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. There's the Susquehanna Wine Trail, which is composed of 15 wineries. And the program is you buy a ticket, you visit all the wineries, and for that, there's quite an interesting array of gifts and opportunities.
And I say central Pennsylvania, you're going to be doing some traveling if you want to hit this wine trail, because while it is in Center County, it also goes all the way back into the Sunbury region. Am I correct, Steve?
Yeah, it's almost around Harrisburg. There's a few of them too. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's definitely some good ones in there, especially Spyglass down in Sunbury. I've been to. It's a really nice one. Now, tickets are $25, but with that $25, if you hit all 15, you're entered to win some great, wonderful prizes, but there's also some things to every winery you get to.
Yeah, everybody would get a 10% discount off any wine purchases, a free glass, and then every winery has a gift for the people on the trail. And then if you go to all 15, there's a drawing for a travel voucher of $5,000 and a second and a third prize too. And then if you only make it to 10, there's a 15 free cases of wine that will be given out.
Steve, you mentioned to get that increase in business, and one thing you want to do is you want to keep your local patrons that love wine in this area.
That's definitely what we're trying to do, but the idea behind the trail is to give people an alternative to having to leave the area. In other words, a lot of people say, I don't go to the Finger Lakes anymore because there's 15 wineries right here in our valley across to Harrisburg that I can visit. Every winery is different, and every winery has its own special strengths.
No use traveling down or up 81 to go to the Finger Lakes or down to Virginia. As Steve said, a lot of great reasons to stay right here at home. Now, looking ahead to April, there's also another great event going on that focuses just on central Pennsylvania, specifically Center County. Yeah,
in Center County, last year was the first year we tried this, but we got the wineries together with the local breweries as well as some distilleries, and we have a trail that extends over that entire month too. It's a little different, but it's still a really good opportunity for people to spend a number of days and have quite a good entertainment.
And that is more for if you have a wife that really loves wine but the husband doesn't. There's a couple different alternatives on that one, am I right?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Steve, I got to ask you, what's your favorite? You see all the medals that are awarded here. What's your favorite wine that you guys have over here at Mount Nittany?
Well, I'm more of a dry wine drinker, so both the Chardonnays and the Proprietor's Select White are probably my favorites.
I got to agree with them. He said Chardonnay. The Chardonnay Reserve they have here is really, really great. Steve, what's the best thing for you as a manager here at the vineyard for when the weather starts getting warmer?
Well, it's a very seasonal business in terms of both people coming to the winery, but also the work that has to be done in the vineyard. So right now we're pruning, but we have to get that done before the first bud. But the amount of traffic at the winery dramatically picks up as the weather gets warmer, and that's why it's important with the Susquehanna Wine Trail is that we promote March, because that's it's a good opportunity for the wineries to increase their business.
Do you get a little bit of spring in your step, a little bit more excitement getting up at those early morning hours?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait. It's something that I'm definitely going to check out. I implore you guys to check it out as well. When we come back on the center of it all, we have a great segment for you with Mel. Of course, we're talking kitchen encounters. Don't go anywhere. You're watching WHVL-TV. Back in the studio for the rest of the show. I want to thank Mount Nittany Winery for hosting us out there this week. You know, I've been blessed with kitchen encounters that I've gotten some great meals over the years, and I'm extremely grateful for that. But every now and then, Mel whips something up that really blows my mind. This week, it's tacos.
When it comes to food, kids aren't always easy to please. I know, I raised 3. The list of foods they all love to eat was very short. In between spaghetti and meatballs, pizza, and the beloved cheeseburger, no one had to be called to the dinner table twice on taco night. Let's get started. 2 things distinguish kid-friendly American-style tacos from Mexican-style tacos: our use of sautéed ground beef and their use of grilled shredded steak, and our use of cardboard-esque taco shells and overpriced, over-salty taco seasoning blends. These 2 items have no place in my pantry. I'm starting with 90% lean ground beef, and I've got 6 pounds in a large 14-inch skillet. I know that sounds like a lot, but when I'm finished today, I'm going to have 6 containers of taco filling in my freezer, which is enough for 6 meals of 12 tacos each. I guess you could say I'm using my time wisely. And I'm not using any store-bought taco seasoning blend either. I'm making my own out of common ingredients, and it's going to taste a whole lot better. I've got chili powder, garlic powder, black pepper, red pepper, coriander, cumin, paprika, sugar, and a little bit of salt. And I'm just going to stir these together really thoroughly. Get this on camera. And when they're all uniform in color, and you can see the sugar and the salt evenly distributed, what I'm going to use is a 2 tablespoon measure, and for every pound of ground beef, I'm using 2 tablespoons, which is about the contents of a seasoning packet. So we have 6 pounds of ground beef in here, so we're going to give this 6 scoops of taco seasoning. And for my vegetables, which is classic, we're going to go with about 4 cups of diced onion, 3 cups each. We've got green bell peppers, red bell peppers, and this looks full, but it is going to cook down, you'll see. I've got 4 jalapeno peppers that have been seeded and the ribs have been removed, and 6 cloves of garlic. Now all that I'm going to do is I'm going to just stir this together. I'm going to saute this for about 45 minutes to an hour, it depends, until the meat is all cooked through and there's almost no liquid left in the bottom of the pan. It's been about 55 minutes. My meat is all cooked through, and as you can see, there's no liquid. It's all evaporated out at the bottom of the pan. And now it's time to add our tomato products. And I like to use 2 cans of stewed tomatoes, and I like these because they also have onions and green peppers in them, which just works really well with the onions and green peppers that we already have in our meat. Stir these in really quick. And the next thing that I'm going to add is an easy to find product, but a lot of people don't know about it, and it's called Spanish sofrito. And it's a cooking base, it's a Spanish tomato-based cooking base, and it contains green peppers, onions, and cilantro. And I'm adding about ½ a cup of that. And it's great to add in chili too. We'll just stir all these together. I'm just going to turn this to low and let it cook for another 15 to 20 minutes. I'm going to move over to the counter and I'm going to fry some taco shells. I don't expect anyone to take the time to make homemade corn tortillas from scratch using corn flour and water. But keeping a package of fresh corn tortillas in your refrigerator is the next best thing. and they cook up in the deep fryer really quickly. I've preheated this to 360 degrees, and I've removed my fryer basket because I have a little tortilla press that fries them individually. You just stick the tortilla shell in, close it together, put it in the hot oil, and let it cook for 1 minute. Put it on a plate. Give it a quick dose of salt and add it to the plate with the rest of the corn tortillas. Whether it's Taco Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or Sunday, if you are a busy parent raising picky eaters, make them happy and your life easier. Fix up a big batch of your own taco spice and taco meat and never look back. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.
Thanks, Mel. There will be no more Old El Paso in my kitchen, and you guys could take my word for it. The leftovers are just as good as the fresh batch. Don't forget to head over to kitchenencounters.typepad.com to check out everything Mel has to offer. When we come back, we head off to the Serengeti. I hope it isn't raining. Thanks for sticking with us here on the Center of It All. You know, we all have an adventurous spirit. For some, though, that spirit burns a little bit brighter. Steve Jury just happens to be one of those people. And he's not only about to embark on an adventure, but a mission to Africa as well.
It's spurred by 2 years ago when I went to Kenya with Compassion, and one of the leaders stayed afterwards and climbed Kilimanjaro, and he said it was an amazing experience, and he said the one thing he missed was doing it with a group. And I told him, I sent emails to him several times. I said, let me know if they do it again. Sure enough, earlier this year, he said, we're getting ready to do one, and I said, sign me up.
Steve Jury of State College and a group of volunteers from Compassion International will be making the trip of a lifetime in May to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Prior to the climb, he and his friends will tackle a big problem facing the children of Tanzania.
We're going to visit a couple communities where, one, we're raising money to drill a well, because they're in areas that they don't even have access to dirty water. They can't even walk 5-10 miles to get even just nasty, clean, water. So we're going to help to drill a well there.
While they provide vital access to clean drinking water, the group also plans to create more sanitary living conditions.
There's one latrine for 125 kids. Government standard there is 1 for 20. And of course, with so many kids in one latrine, there's a lot of waiting with that and a lot of disease. Facilities aren't, hygiene, they're not clean. So when all is said and done, it's going to be 1 to 20. There's going to be a lot less risk of disease, and kids are just going to be able to worry about other things instead of worry about, am I going to get sick?
Jury works at Victory Sports and Fitness in State College and sponsors 2 of Compassion International's 1.7 million children worldwide. And he credits the organization with profoundly impacting his life.
It's a way for somebody to impact another person's life in a far-off country. What I do as a career as a fitness professional, I love what I do. I've been doing it for over 20 years. But I tell people that compassion is why I'm here. It's not just a ministry to me, it's my life. I love telling people about it. I love sharing about it. And the difference it makes in somebody else's life. I mean, it's being I was able to see firsthand 2 years ago the conditions those people were in. It broke my heart in a way, because we take for granted clean water, for example, different things like that. We take for granted shelter, different things like that, where some people don't even have access to that, and they have very little, but yet they're very happy with what they do have, because they don't know what they don't have.
Once the work is complete, the group will then begin their trek. At 19,330 feet, Kilimanjaro is the world's largest freestanding mountain, and Jury is putting in a lot of work to prepare for the climb.
The nice thing about living in Center County is we have access to a lot of good hiking trails. Obviously, Mount Nittany, Shingletown Gap, Indian Steps, Thousand Steps. I'm going to start going up and down Nittany probably 3 or 4 times at a clip. One of the craziest things I've done in here, one day I did 500 yards of walking lunges. Took me about 45 minutes. And yeah, I was able to walk the next day. In the training, it's just really more endurance than strength.
Due to the frigid temperatures, Jury and his companions will only be able to spend about 15 minutes at the summit. However, he hasn't allowed himself to think about that moment.
Not yet, but I'm sure, like, a friend of mine who's one of the guides, or one of the leaders of the trip this year, Bobby Claypool, he said it was unlike anything. You can't imagine it. I mean, it's just like I went to Kenya 2 years ago. You see pictures, you just can't imagine. And, you know, because, you know, going on some of the peaks around here, which, you know, 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet, whatever. I mean, imagining, you know, 18 more thousand feet. That's hard to imagine, you know.
We want to wish Steve a safe trip over to Africa. What a great journey he's about to embark on. Back here on our own continent, in our little slice of the world, we have great culture and diversity represented throughout the region. A big part of that is the Southern Alleghenies Museum of Art, or SAMA, and this year marks a very special year on their calendar.
This is our 40th anniversary, and that is a milestone for the museum. The museum is anticipating and has planned a number of events throughout the year to recognize the 40-year milestone. We have a number of exhibitions planned. The exhibitions will feature some of the best of the last 40 years from our permanent collection.
Spirit of 76 is one of those exhibitions. Put together by curator Scott Diamond from the Mark Del Costello collection of over 400 posters, these 25 pieces are designed to take you back in time to when Apple just started, Rocky wasn't yet a champion, and the Fonz was still the king.
It really represents the best of the best. Our curator elected to take this exhibition of graphic artists and illustrations from 1975 through 1980. These were the years of optimism and excess of the late 70s, and I think these posters reflect that.
For those of you who were around, or for that matter can remember the 70s, there is most definitely a piece here that represents what was going on in your life at the time.
If this was the time frame in which they grew up, they're going to have a strong connection to groups like Chicago or Wings, or perhaps they saw Chorus Line on Broadway, and they can bring their own personal experience, their own personal interaction with these musical groups, these Broadway plays, these political commentaries, the sports posters that we have, so on and so forth. So I think it has that personal connection.
Not yet 30, but a history buff myself, this collection caught my eye, and I want to thank Gary for hosting me. For those who are a generation younger, it is definitely something you should check out while you can, especially if interested in modern design.
If you're looking for or interested in graphics and illustrations, this is a very strong representation of the golden age of graphics, illustrations for poster work. When you look at works by Mitten and Sheldon, which introduce a little bit of humor into your artwork, or if you're looking for works by Shaw or Gorey or any other top-notch illustrators and graphic artists, it's here.
40 years makes SAMA the longest-running museum satellite system in the nation, with over 4,000 permanent works of art. What a great exhibition. Remember, if you can't make it to Johnstown, SAMA rotates their galleries every 8 weeks at all their locations in the region. I encourage you folks to go down there and celebrate the 40th anniversary with Gary and his entire staff. When we come back, it's time for the Pet of the Week. Welcome back to the center of it all. Time once again to introduce our new segment, the Pet of the Show. This week we're over at Center County Paws, and I'm joined by Chris Faust. Chris, thanks for being here. Who do we have here today?
I have Boo Boo in my lap. Boo Boo is a 12-year-old male, and he has an interesting feature on his two front paws. He's what we call a polydactyl, which means he has 6 toes. Boo Boo arrived at Paws a pretty sick kitty. His owner had passed away and he hadn't been cared for a while, so he was not in the best of health when he came here. He was really matted. We had to give him a haircut, or rather a fur cut. So through our volunteers and great vets in the area, we got him treated, and he's healed. He's recovered nicely. He's happy. He is a wonderful older boy who enjoys snuggling and being petted and hanging out in his bed on my lap. I think he would do really well in a quieter home given his age. older kids preferably. Not sure about dogs, but he's a very loving, wonderful, snuggly cat, and he would make a great companion to somebody who would prefer an older lap companion at their home.
Well, he's mugging for the camera right now. If you want to take Boo Boo home, just contact Chris over here at Center County Paws. Look at him. He's such a cute little guy, 12-year-old. He just wants to find a forever home. Chris, thank you so much for introducing us to Boo Boo.
You're welcome. And the best way to find out about when we're open and all of our adoptable cats and dogs is to visit our website, www.centercountypaws.org, and click on cats, click on dogs. If you want to get involved as a volunteer, all kinds of helpful links that will take you where you want to go.
Chris, thank you so much. There's the info for Center County Paws, and thank you for joining us on this edition of the Center of It All. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and check it out on YouTube.